The mountains have always been on fire, since Spanish sailors spied this land in the 1500s, calling San Pedro the Bay of Smoke. The Chumash and Tongva Native Americans practiced controlled burns of the hills to avoid the kind of cyclonic infernos we have today. These fires seem to be the result of our ceaseless development, as well as our failure to fund fire prevention. The prevention itself means there's more chaparral, more sage scrub, more dried-out grasses that light up when the fires and winds do come, and they always come. Yet Californians build, pick through the ashes of their houses, build again. This I understand. People often act against common sense when they've fallen in love with a fantasy. And isn't this Laurel Canyon cottage a fantasy I had? As the landlord toured me through it and I noticed the lack of any updates since the 70s, he said, "Yeah, that's about when Fleetwood Mac lived here." I signed the check immediately, even though I knew I was about to run out of money. Toward the end of dinner, the winds came like a hot exhale and blew the napkins off the table. Some people made excuses, checked traffic on their phones. The remaining guests voted to move inside. In that foreboding, omniscient wind, I felt like a child again. Why did I come back here? I made up stories from the minute I could speak. A natural escapist, I was always looking for the hidden, real world. I believed, at points, that it existed underwater or in tide pools, in the roots of trees or in their branches, in outer space, under beds, in forts of blankets, in the house next door. I told my elementary school classmates that my father was an astronaut and therefore had to be away from home. I told my younger sister that we were exiled aristocracy, descendants of the Romanovs, and that she must always behave like a princess. I told my kindergarten friends that I was a mermaid, that I snuck out of my house each evening after putting my mother to bed. I ran to the ocean and spent nights racing in the black water with my real family. This is what children do. They investigate reality by contrasting it with fantasy. The problem, as is so often the case, was that I invested authority in the latter, preferring it to the former. Too much unsupervised time and a teeming imagination, too much relentless hope that I could make the invented real. Children believed me. It took a parent or a teacher to convince my peers I was lying. I remember barreling through people's disbelief with the sheer force of my personality. I refused to relent when caught. My younger sister, Christina, was and continues to be instinctively loyal to me. When we were little, she corroborated my stories, telling the other kindergartners that I was indeed a mermaid, even if she didn't quite trust my version of events. I woke up before my sister and my mother and used Crayola markers to color my hair, proof that I had just journeyed from another world. Christina stared at my hair with her mouth open. Many nights she came into my bed and begged me to take her swimming, to make her a mermaid too. But she couldn't go with me. Not when I dreamed of those night swims. Not when I ran away at age 10 to go live under the Seal Beach Pier. Not when I left my house on countless nights to skateboard through empty suburban streets. And not when my mother sent me away to Colorado at 16. I don't think my sister saw that it was a gift to be at home. That it was her special power, getting to stay. I think now that I understood exile. I was born a stray.